Hey, what's going on YouTube? SeOuLStEaL here. Well, we've got the latest July patch. It went live on Twitter about an hour ago, and it starts off with Heroes of 𝙀𝙑𝙋𝘼𝙉. The July Cool Retreat update arrives in 𝙀𝙑𝙋𝘼𝙉 tomorrow. The July Cool Retreat update arrives. Downtime will be July 17th, 2 a.m. and expected to last 6 hours. So, 2 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Eastern. So, and then 6. So, should be able to get back on the game around 11 Eastern if there's no extended maintenance. You know, fingers crossed. The Cool Retreat update is built to help new players relax in the Caucasian sun and is full of progression updates, new events, solo mode, raids, and more. Dive into the full list of new content, events, skins, and other changes along with the new episode of Patch Notes with Henry, or read through all the details below. We're not going to watch the video. We're just going to react to the updates. So solo mode enables you to challenge Lost Ark's main endgame content, yada yada yada. However, once players pass a certain item level, they will not be able to receive gold or full progression materials rewards from solo mode. So basically, they put a cap on how, on what kind of characters can do solo mode. So for 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙉, once you're 1600, you can't do solo mode anymore. 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘉 1610, 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉 1620, 𝙀𝙓𝙃𝑔𝑒 1640. It makes sense to an extent with the fact that if you're at these item levels, then maybe you should have learned these raids by now by party. But a lot of people are getting this boost, this progression boost with the Mokoko Express, and it's a brand new player. Here's the kicker: if it's a brand new player and they use the Mokoko Express Pass as they are designated to by friends or streamers, they're gonna get boosted to 1600, not knowing that once they hit 1600 they won't be able to learn 𝙀𝙁𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙉. Now, I understand as well that in the Mokoko Express Pass, I'm sure many of you have experienced this as well as I have, that you don't always get all the materials that's necessary for progression. They give you a lot, do not get me wrong, but sometimes you end up getting pieces that hit pity despite the nerfs, and sometimes you run out of resources way before you hit the level that you're meant to hit with those the support that the Mokoko Express Pass gives you. So chances are new players and returning players who don't have a 1600 yet will do 𝙀𝙁𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙉, who are Mokokos using that pass. They'll do it before they hit 1600. Chances are they'll be able to do it before then. The clown, you know, we already just went over this, but it kind of sucks, but it also makes sense at the same time, because once you hit some of these thresholds, you should be doing the hard mode of these anyway. Like 𝙀𝙁𝙋𝘼𝙉𝑉, everyone does hard anyway, so you really, once you're 1600, you should probably be doing the hard mode raid if you like for card runs. Clown, you know, same thing. 𝙀𝙁𝙃𝑗𝑗, you should be doing hard mode runs by 1620 if you are still running, well, if you're running Braille for the card, which most people are. Same with all these. And then 𝙀𝙃𝙃𝑗𝑗 1640, makes sense. I mean, you're doing it for the item set, but you should be doing hard mode by the time you're hitting 1580 anyway. Unless you're like me, who's returning and you learned it first on your 1610 or 1600. Was I 1610 or 1650? It doesn't matter, it's inconsequential. When I first returned, I learned 𝙀𝙃𝙃𝑗𝑗 on a 1600 plus character first, on hard mode, on normal and on hard mode. So, anyway, moving on. Solo mode will also have special effects to help different classes. We already know this from Korea. These effects are going to help boost your character's performance in order to help to assist them and be able to do these solo raids. We've also learned from Korea that unfortunately supports have a hard time in solo mode right now. And so supports are having to build DPS builds, and then on top of that, it's still like the damage is laughable. I'm gonna test it out myself with my paladin and my artist, depending on which one I choose to do first. But either way, I'm gonna try it with my supports. I'm gonna build a DPS with the free engraving support, and possibly even using, well, I think I have event gems on my paladin, so I can switch freely anyway from the last Mokoko Express Pass. So I'm going to be doing that to test it out. This is just talking about how you apply the buffs, a separate support buff is not applied when selecting the This Is Me buff, which drops a character right in a raid with no buffs. Hold on, let's read this actually. When entering single mode content for the first time, you can select a support buff. The selected support buff will be applied during boss battles. There are special buffs that are specific to certain raids, or that are only applied, or that are only to be selected by specific classes. A separate support buff is not applied when selecting the This Is Me buff, which drops a character right into the raid with no buff. Okay. So basically you get like an assistant with you. You can enter solo mode without selecting a support buff and are able to change the selected support buff via the change button at the top left of the game screen. However, once the battle starts, the support buff cannot be changed. After defeating a boss, you can change support buffs in the general combat zone and battle station at the next gate. So, okay. I remember this part about how you could change it in between gates. I already knew it makes sense how you can't switch it while you're in battle. It'd be kind of cheap to switch it around. So, new currency, clear medal. Regardless of the difficulty level, you can receive a clear medal when you clear the content that comes with the solo mode. Clear medals can be exchanged for various items throughout solo mode exchange, NPCs in large cities. Major items that were previously exchangeable for special currencies from the Legion raid exchange will not be exchanged through the solo mode exchange NPC. If you exchange an item with an existing tag that has a permanent acquisition limit, you cannot exchange it again through... Okay, so basically, if there was a roster limit and you already used it, you can't get it again. So, if you clear solo mode, the gold received is lower than normal difficulty. The full values are shared in the gold rebalancing section of the release notes. However, the other rewards are equal to those received in normal mode, which I do remember hearing about this a while ago as well. And I also talked about this in my previous video, that instead of quitting it to normal, it should be equal to hard. I've heard people calling for them to work on a hard mode for solo mode, a hard version. You know, so that way, instead of just learning in normal mode, you learn the hard difficulty in solo, and also get the hard difficulty rewards. And I would rather have them work on that as well. I would like them to also. Here's the thing that I'm very hopeful for, that people have been calling for solo Echidna and solo 𝙀𝙗𝘼, and I think it's very, very, very possible we could get that. I don't want to say soon, as in like, oh, it'll happen in a couple months. I would like to see it happen, considering that solo mode was announced in December of 2023, and they managed to finish from Vaulton all the way to Voldus in half of a year. That's pretty dang impressive. So I think that we could see Echidna, 𝙀𝙗𝘼, and I think we could see Echidna and 𝙀𝙗𝘼 very soon. I was gonna say Behemoth, but no, I don't want to see Behemoth solo mode. I think that'd be ridiculous. But I think that we could see Echidna and 𝙀𝙗𝘼 solo very, very soon. 𝙀𝙗𝘼 and Echidna are more complex raids than all the ones that they worked on, from my understanding. So it will take, I'm gonna take a guess, probably 3 or 4 months for them to make the solo mode version of those, test it, and then release it. But I am hopeful that they could do that, and then I am also hopeful that maybe they can consider the hard mode versions of these raids as well. I do think that Inferno should stay as party content, though. Events. The Cool Retreat update heralds to the end of the previous batch of progression events, with the previous Tapu Mokoko Express extra end content reward, Honing event mission, endgame acceleration, and Chaos Assault drawing to a close. The event also brings a new wave of events for players to ease the grind this summer as we head towards Tier 4. While we previously announced that there will be progression events to help endgame players, we decided to release a new event Power Pass and updated Mokoko Super Express event to help new or returning players prepare for Tier 4, or engage players, add a new class to their roster, or boost a current alternate character. I mean, this sentence could have been simplified. They didn't have to add all these extra things. Anyway, Voldus Event Power Pass. An event Power Pass that will drop players off at 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉 at item level 1520 will be granted to all players. Power Passes can be claimed and used until September 25th, at which point it will expire if the Power Pass has not been used. That's great. I really, really, really am glad that they are doing this. I just made 2 new characters recently. I made a Breaker and I made a Deathblade. And the Breaker already got to 𝙀𝙓𝙋. The Deathblade might use this, or maybe my Bard that I made a couple of months ago will get the Power Pass. We'll see. I haven't decided 100% yet, but I will say that that is great that we are getting a Power Pass to 𝙀𝙓𝙋. The event Power Pass delivery process has been improved. Players will now receive event Power Passes in the server selection screen and can use the Power Pass when creating a new character. Requirement information to receive the event Power Pass is provided in the Power Pass selection menu. That is also great. Simply that originally you had to log into a character that's like one of your veteran characters that had already reached 𝙀𝙓𝙋, for instance, for them to receive the mail that's for the Power Pass, claim it on that character, activate it on that character, and then it would take you back to the character select screen. Quite a tedious process, a convoluted process for some people, and I remember having to do that with Vern and all the other Power Passes. So I'm glad that they've decided that they finally worked on it and fixed that. Super Mokoko Express. Pairing well with the 𝙀𝙓𝙋 Power Pass, players will be able to designate one character between item level 1520 to 1600 on their account to participate in the new version of the Super Mokoko Express event, where they'll have discounted honing rates, discounted gold requirements, and earn honing materials to quickly level up to item level 1600 with reward chests that include silver, gold, Akan gear, honing materials, level 8 gems, engravings, and more. While the honing buffs end at 1600, an additional chests up to item level 1620 will help your character power up with more honing materials, elixirs, transcendence materials, and even advanced honing tempering materials. Honing percentage boost. That is pretty dang good, I will say about that. Elixirs and transcendence, I'm hoping it's gold elixirs, and transcendence definitely gonna need to help, especially with how difficult it is to, first off, get into a Thaymine party, second, learn the Thaymine raids, third, find a party that's not a bus. You know, it's pretty rough right now. The more players that we can get to doing Thaymine and progging Thaymine, the better. I have not even learned Thaymine yet, and I'm 16-15 on my Soul Eater. It's just the intimidation of needing the requirements that some of these players have. Like, I understand that it's necessary, but it's also, since I don't have LOS 30, you know, I feel like I can't, there's no way I'm going to get accepted. I haven't bothered clicking to apply to learn the raid, but it's, you know, it's kind of like, you look at, here's what I do. I look at all the parties that are in existence for Thaymine and Echidna, and everyone is LOS 30, LOS 30, LOS 30. That's why in my previous video I said we need support for cards. We need them to just either give everybody all the cards or add all the Light of Salvation cards and Kazuro's Legion Commander cards into the Wandering Merchant rotation, have them appear more frequently, and also let people purchase all 15 copies that they need for the card. It's either 15, or is it 15 or 16? I think it's 15 in total after you first acquire the card. Not in total, that would be 16, but I think it's 16 in total. Like, you have to get first the card and then 15 more copies of it. Either way, they need to allow us to purchase every copy that we need in order to max out the awakening for the card as well, to speed up the process of hitting LOS 30, to reduce the amount of gatekeeping that's help alleviate, I think, a little bit of the gatekeeping that happens in the game. But these rates are really good. I'm seeing 200% base chance for 1520, 1580, and then 1580 to 1600 is 50%. Pretty good. Honing materials discount 70% to 1580, 40% to 1600. That's massive. For the honing material discount, the honing leap materials discount, same rates. And then the gold discount is the biggest one right here. 70% reduced gold cost from up to 1580 and 40% to 1600. Like, I know it's the same number for all three, but that is massive. I can't tell you how. I'm gonna tell you actually how painful it is. So, for instance, if take this from the perspective of a new player, right? So I made my Deathblade and my Breaker. I mentioned that earlier. I honed both of them from because I did. So first, I spent the 600 gold to skip all the way to skip the Vern and the knowledge transfer. And then with my Breaker, I grinded the quests all the way to up to Punica. I didn't want to do Punica, so I skipped Punica. And then I grinded 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿. Was it? No, I grinded South Vern, and then 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿. And I have stopped 𝙀𝙀𝙃𝘼𝙉, and then I paid for the power pass, the $11 to go to Voldus on the Breaker. But the thing is, in order for me to go from the 500 item level, I think it is that you start off at, 500 item level to 1490, which is where I left, where I had to get them to in order to boost them and everything. It cost about 40 to 50,000 gold to do that. Now, you might be saying, how is that possible when it only costs silver? I'll tell you how. Because I had to buy the materials. I had to buy the 𝙀𝙀𝙃𝙃, right? I think I went through 14 or 1600 of those. And then that was basically the only thing I had to really buy. I did buy some of the Great Honor Leaf Stones to help so I don't burn through all my boxes. Because I didn't want to burn through all my boxes for my top 6 characters. I'm just trying to get another alt so I can grind that up. And I did that twice. It was about 1800 for my Deathblade for the basic 𝙀𝙀𝙃𝑗𝑃, just to get the 1490. And it was about, I'm trying to think, with the Great Honor Leaf Stones, I think it was around 1800. I think. If either way, it was quite a bit. Now they were 3 gold each for the Leaf Stones, but 11 to 13 gold for each 𝙀𝙃𝙃, right? So after a bit of after paying for the boosts plus not the boost, after paying for the knowledge transfers and the materials, it was about 40 to 50,000 per character. So if I hadn't spent that gold, you could tell I would have had 100,000, roughly 100,000 more gold than I do have. Instead of having 395 or 396,000 gold, I would have had closer to 500,000 for tomorrow. But now take that into perspective, that from a veteran's perspective, it's like, okay, I had the gold, no problem. But from a new player's perspective, you can't expect new players, even then, to have enough materials, and even some returning players, you can't expect them to have enough materials and the gold to guarantee that they're going to get to 1490, let alone to 1540. Okay? So there's going to be people that are stuck at 1540 or 1490 or 1540 still. And with the Makoko Express Pass, they're sure as hell not going to make it all the way to 1580 to 1600 right away. It's going to take them a bit because of how expensive it still is to get the materials that you're going to be missing out on, because, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get every piece easily. You're going to hit pity on quite a few of them still. Just take that into perspective as well. Just if you're a new player watching, it might still take you some time. Don't be upset about it. Don't sweat it. Just understand that I know your pain, because I dealt with that with the first Makoko Express Pass, the first 2 of them actually. It took a lot of money and a lot of materials, and it still took me some time to get the characters up back then to 1460 because it was so hard. Even with the assistance, they didn't even give us as much assistance back then as they do now, and it was still painful, still incredibly painful. So I feel your pain, and these discount rates are really, really good. Just don't be surprised if you can't get to 1580 day 1, let alone 1600 day 1. It's going to still take time, still going to take gold. You just got to be a little bit patient. So, but yeah, point is, it's expensive regardless of the nerfs, regardless of it only costing silver up to 1540. Like it said, like they mentioned earlier. So, yeah, it's still gonna cost some gold, even if it's only silver. Even if it only costs silver to get to 1540 tomorrow. Extra endgame reward events. An updated version of the extra endgame event. An updated version of the extra endgame rewards event arrives, built around rewarding players for clearing current endgame content and helping players prepare for Tier 4. The extra rewards will include protection and obliteration stones, leaf stones, and honor shards, corresponding to the item level of the activity. The extra rewards will be granted when clearing the following activities, and it's basically talk about the hard modes of all these raids. Normal and hard mode for the... Oh, no. Okay. It was only a hard mode for Triangle Gate 3, and then Akan, Ivory, Thamine, and Echidna. Normal and hard mode, you get these rewards after you complete Gate 2 and 3 for the respective raids, the last gate of each raid. The extra rewards will be available to all characters on the player's roster. No need to designate a character in this event. This event will last up to September 25th. So basically, they're giving you some extra materials for finishing the harder raids on the harder difficulties. The Maharaka Festival. The Summertime Maharaka Festival returns with new activities. Celebrate the summer in the Maharaka Paradise Event Island, located east of Lutera in the Sea of Janai. Players will be able to hit the pool and participate in an event race, transforming into a pirate Makoko to jump, headbutt, and dash their way through a swimming race before attempting to defeat a giant rubber duck. A race will be held every hour. Participation is limited to once per day. Participants will choose which pirate Makoko they want to transform into. Finish the race and save Maharaka Paradise from the Buccaneers. Earn Makoko pirate tokens and trade them with special items at the event shop. The Maharaka event shop has an enormous cache of valuable rewards to help player progression, along with fun summer cosmetics such as the trail effects, stronghold structures, and transformations. Head to the Maharaka Festival in game to see all the wonders that await you, and don't worry, an event feast will also be included. So I never participated in this last year. I don't think I'm not. Was it available last year for NA? I remember hearing people talk about it. It was on Korea. I will say that the minigame of attacking the Buccaneers, attacking the other duck, whatever, reminds me of the Christmas event where we had the big hammers and we had to bonk the rubber ducky on the other team while dodging blizzards. Sounds a little bit like that, but I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Daily playtime rewards. Daily playtime rewards return with some updated rewards. The event will run until September 25th. Seems like September 25th is probably when we get Tier 4. By the way, just take is that a Tuesday or is that a Wednesday? I'm guessing it's a Wednesday. If I could check my calendar. I'm gonna check the calendar real quick. 2024 calendar. September. Yep, it's a Wednesday. All right, so I'm guessing Tier 4 is coming out on Wednesday, September 25th. That's my guess, based off of when all these events are ending. So, and that's probably when we'll get another Makoko Express Pass, if I were to guess. And rewards players for the time they spend on Lost Ark. Every 15 minutes of playtime will grant players with a gift of key progression materials, silver to honing materials, cards, event tokens, and new honing fusion materials, with the final daily grant being gifted at 90 minutes. So same as before, if you've played this game before and saw those rewards at the top left, it's going to be the same as last time. Updated gift. A gift will also be sent to all players alongside with the update with key progression materials to help boost endgame progression. The gift includes epic elixir supplies chest. I think that's the purple one. The legendary elixirs, wishful amulets, which is for increasing your tripods to level 5, hope amulets, which is to level 4, darkfire chest, which is for transcendence, and ancient soundstones. I think that's also for transcendence. Yeah, these two should be for transcendence. I'm just trying to remember based off the names. I know based off the pictures, and I know darkfire. Yeah, darkfire is for making more soundstones, I think. I haven't done Transcendence in a while. New Fever Time events will be added. New daily. Okay, so that's just in general. Store update. We're getting the summer skins that Korea has got last week. I think it's our. Has it been 1 or 2 weeks now since Tier 4? I think Tier 4 came out, yeah, last week. So this is what Korea got last week. We're getting it tomorrow. It comes with the pets, and do not be deceived by this outfit right here thinking it's not the same. So when I was watching SeOuLStEaL stream of the new summer outfits, this is option 4. So the first option is the bikini with the jacket. The second option is the bikini without the jacket, and then the third one is like the black bikini, the one piece bikini. So, and then the males, I don't care. So just, I wanted to let you guys know who are watching. Maybe you're like, oh, this isn't the same. No, it is. This is just option 4 from the summer selection chest right here. Progression update. A huge batch of progression updates come alongside with solo raids. Tier 3 engraving support. Basically, it's the same as the engraving support from the Mokoko Express Pass, but now it's for every character. Once you hit 1250 on your character's item level, they gain access to the 5 free engravings. And yeah, if you wanted to get 5x3+1 or 5x3+2, you need to have an ability stone that is 9x7 at least, and you need to actually purchase a ancient legendary accessories to get the +1 or +2. Engraving support will be disabled. The player feels the engraving effects on their accessories and ability stone is better. The level of the engraving effect is fixed at level 3. Engraving support status will be saved in the current gear preset whenever you replace engraving support or equip different gear piece. Characters that receive the engraving support from the Mokoko Express will need to set their Tier 3 engraving support again after the update. Okay. Basic growth boost extended to 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 gear. Replace the gold requirements to silver and Tier 3 1390 gear when honing between 1 and 15, aka the 1540. That's what we were talking about earlier. It's still going to cost gold to get materials if you run out of materials, or if you're new or starting a new character and you don't have bound materials in that character. It's going to cost you gold still for those materials, but for each click it's going to be free. It's going to be silver. That's not free, it's silver, but either way. Increase the honing up to level 20. The basic honing rate by 100% up to 20. Honing levels between 1 and 20 are now minus 50% honing breakthrough cost. Please note the previous discount was 40%. Okay, so this is boost extended to 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 gear specifically, I guess. Honing level 1 and 20 now have a minus 50% honing breakthrough cost, honing materials, and gold. Please note that the previous discount was 40%, so I guess now it's 50%. Honing levels between 1 and 20 minus 40% XP required for honing. So I believe that is talking about using your leaps, the shards. Like, I think when you're throwing in the shards, well, it's either that or that they're talking about, like, it's either that or they're talking about between when you hit, like, between when you start clicking and hitting pity, maybe, possibly. Gear crafting and upgrade adjustments. Reduce the cost of gear creation. Set level upgrade and ability stone upgrades. Oh, yeah. So 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 no longer costs gold to make the weapons, and now it's just 50,000 silver. Armor from 500 gold to 25,000 silver. 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 gear will now start at 0 quality rather than the random value. So you're gonna be forced to upgrade your 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 gear from 0 to 100, either with the free tabs that they give you, or if you're gonna start using chaos stones, I think they're called chaos stones, then you're gonna have to start clicking for gold, and I do not advise that. 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 weapon crafting costs reduced from 3,000 to 1,000, good. Armor crafting costs reduced from 1,500 to 500, good. A con from 4 to 2, basically 50% discount on all of these for these two. This is a 60% discount basically. Ability stone upgrade cost has been decreased by 50%. So basically, I'm guessing they're talking about when you're upgrading your ability stone with the triangle gear from level 1 to level 4 for the HP increase. I think if they're, I'm sure that they're talking about this. So for level 4, it's like 24,000 gold. Now it's gonna be 12,000 gold. I'm guessing that's what they're talking about. They didn't list it, which I think that, but it's under the set level 3 upgrade reductions, right? So I'm guessing because this is 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉, then this is also the 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼 ability stone update that they're talking about. Elixir updates. Legendary elixir cost reduction. Catalyst cost from 5 to 3. Gold cost reduced from 280 to 140. I haven't worked with legendary elixirs, only with the purples, so I don't know what these are. So if I'll have to look into it. If anybody in the comments wants to fill me in on what the catalyst cost is, I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, I'll just look it up later. Doubled the clear reward. Yeah, we heard about that. This is what they're going to do. They're going to double the rewards for Ivory Tower. So basically, they nerfed the gold cost of the elixirs, but they also increase the amount of elixirs you get per week whenever you do a clear on per character. So yeah, so instead of 10, you now get 20 of them, which is, it's great. You get a lot of elixirs to work with, but I've heard a lot of people say that elixirs still suck. Now, I cut not the legendaries. I cut the epic ones I had, and it sucked for most of them. I did get some nice ones, but it's still I think the mini game is fun. It's just, it kind of sucks when RNG doesn't go in your favor, which happens most of the time. Transcendence updates. We kind of heard about this already, that they nerfed the gold. Basically, it's like half price for everything. It's good. I don't think it's enough. I think that needs to be reduced a bit more. I personally would rather not have Transcendence as a vertical progression system. I think that the Transcendence minigame should have just been that, a minigame on the side of your normal daily tasks. Just make it a minigame where you have a certain amount of entries to earn extra gold, extra mats, cards. It could have been more of a fun new returning and veteran assistance mini game, right? Like, instead of only offering raids and horizontal story content, you could have offered mini games in between. So it's like, if you don't want to do story quests, you can do raids. If you don't want to do either of those, here are some mini games to play: Transcendence, elixirs, whatever else. Maybe that MOBA game that they showed, like the MOBA mini game that they had showed years ago. I think it was 2 years ago already, that they said that they were working on, and I guess they scrapped. So I think that personally, I'd rather see Transcendence as just a mini game that gives you extra gold and extra honing materials and rewards and everything. But the fact that they are at least nerfing the amount of gold it costs for Transcendence on your gear, that's great. 50% reduced. Obviously, I would rather see it reduced even more. I think a lot of people would like to see it reduced even more. I think a lot more people would rather just see it get deleted entirely. Same with elixirs. But if it's here to stay, at least keep working on it. Keep adjusting the costs for these vertical progression systems as time goes on. Theon reductions. We got some nice Theon reductions. Basically, amulets need to be removed entirely. Tier 3 accessories, relics are going to become obsolete, and just you're not going to see them after tomorrow. Ancients, like, I honestly would rather just see this reduced down to 10. Personally, I mean, out of everything, I'd rather just see Theons removed entirely. It's just a crappy system. It's a crappy currency. So, Procion's protection and Arcturus' touch expanded basically to the Procion's touch has been added to Ivory Tower normal, and Arcturus' touch has been added to Ivory Tower hard. That's basically like, I think you take reduced damage and you do extra damage to the bosses up to 10 runs, 10 completions on that character. So, yeah. Character bound gems. Level 5, tier 3 bound gems will now be granted to players for completing the Punitive Reward quest. 6 and 7 gems will be exchanged in the solar mode shop after meeting the follow item level requirements. I remember this was this was actually shown on the Korean streams last week. They were showing the page and the item level requirements to get them. So, and it's already been tested. You cannot fuse the level 7 gems you get from the shop. You cannot fuse them to make a level 8 for free or any of that. You're not going to get level 8s from this system. The idea is just to act as the same it's the same gem system as the Mokoko Express passes. You just get event gems handed to you. So don't think you're going to get like free 10s because you have enough currency to buy a bunch of these and then merge them. You can't merge them. You still have to buy or create the real gems to get your level 10s. Or buy them. So growth missions. Added a new growth quest type in the guide mission system. This will help players through various types of content earlier in their Lost Ark journey. This is basically for new players. These missions will help players reach island level 1600 to help them navigate the massive amounts of systems within Lost Ark. Requirements: you have to hit level 50 and complete the quest after Image of Fracture. The goal of these missions is to help players reach island level 1600 and provide growth opportunities on a daily basis. Various missions are provided sequentially depending on the character's item level. There are daily, weekly, and roster missions that are automatically given to players under 1600. Example is Chaos Dungeon daily mission. You can skip a mission and we'll go to the next mission sequentially. Are they gonna give extra rewards for these missions? I do think it's great that basically this is kind of a foot in the door of a mentor system, but it's not quite there yet, right? A mentor system would be, I was talking about in my last video, was players volunteering to be mentors for the game, but this is a step in the right direction, of guiding new and returning players into what they should be working on, or what they could be working on, because it gives you the option to skip. General progression updates: increase the number of materials granted in the initial clear boxes of tier 1 and 2 guardians. Gold rewards removed from Fate Embers below the South Vern Void 2 stage. Kinda sucks. Added a new stronghold research tier 3, required XP for honing. The Mokoko challenge has been removed. The new progression adjustments events will replace these. That's okay. There's too many windows for a new player anyway. And the old Mokoko challenge is a bit outdated. Quite a bit outdated. So changing it to something that's maybe a little bit less invasive on your eyes, like a little bit less eye pollution when you're first loading into the game, is great. Like, I remember seeing the video of Stoops reacting to Lazy Peon's Return to Lost Ark video, and how Lazy Peon had windows upon windows and windows of like the Mokoko challenge and all these other things trying to tell him what he needs to do, what's new in the game. It's like, you do not want to overwhelm your new and returning players with all that clutter. You gotta slowly ease them into it. Alright, here's what I've been dreading. I already looked at this a little bit. It's a little pee-pee poo-poo sad. The gold nerfs. Now, they said that they did increase a con, and Ivory Tower gold will stay the same. I am still, however, upset that they are doing these gold nerfs. Now, Argos nobody does anyway. It's eventually going to get eliminated entirely, just like the older raids. They're all going to get eliminated entirely. I don't think it should happen, but nobody runs it anyway, so no real loss there. Vaulton and Vicus, however, you still have your new players doing this, and like I said before, it cost me for me to go and level a new character from it was from 12 like after I did the boost from 500 to 1490. It was roughly 40 to 50,000 gold each new character. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that is incredibly cheap compared to how much it used to cost. But the fact is that it still costs that much gold to get to that level as on a brand new character, buying the materials I didn't have. And I didn't want to burn through my leapstone boxes for the more expensive leapstones. And yeah, so anyway, Bolton, you can see the values right there. The nerfs are quite substantial for Vaulton and Vicus. unfortunately. Now, the only thing we got to look at is hard mode. Basically, we're going from a 2,000 gold raid to a 1,300 gold raid for Vaulton on hard mode. And for solo mode, it's laughable. Okay, so solo mode, you're going to get a whopping, what is that, 350 gold for gate 1 and 2 solo. That's barely yeah, it's just silly. There's no point of doing solo Vaulton or 𝙀𝙑𝙋 unless you're doing it for a card run, because then you're saving yourself the time from having to do it in a party. That's mainly what I'm gonna just be using it for, is for card runs. Vaulton, 𝙀𝙑𝙋, Clown, just for card runs. Brel, I'm still gonna run hard mode, because hard mode, it's still gonna pay the most, even if it's a difference of, well, if we look at it, normal mode is 3,000 gold for doing 1 through 3, and then including 4 is 4,600. So basically, it's 100 more gold than what Vaulton, 𝙀𝙑𝙋, and Clown used to pay when they were in their hard modes. So Brel is almost at that point for normal mode. Hard mode, 12, 24, 36, 56. 5,600 gold every other week. Otherwise, 3,600 gold every week on hard. It's not that hard anyway, but it's still quite a substantial hit. It's basically, I mean, I think it's, let me see. I'm pretty sure it's more than a 50% nerf. I think Brel 1 through 3 was paying, yeah, I think it was paying 80, it's after tomorrow, like, I mean, before tomorrow, I should say, it was paying 8,500 gold, and then if you did gate 4, it was 10,500 gold for Brel 1 through 4. So you're going from 8,500 gold to 3,600 gold for hard Brel 1 through 3. I mean, that's barely worth it. 600 gold hit if you just do normal mode instead. Now, the only reason why you would still do hard mode is for the horns, to get the horns and the pets. After you do your 10 clears, though, you just drop it back to normal, take the 600 gold hit, and you're done. I think that this is, I don't like the gold nerfs at all. I think it's for NAEU and every other region, like Taiwan, China, like nobody needs these gold nerfs. Because I know there's a big population of players who are at Echidna, Thaymine, and hard Voldus, and they're getting ready for Behemoth, but like I said before about how much it costs me to get my Deathblade and my Breaker up there, this is just slowing down the new player and returning player progress even more with these gold nerfs on the older raids. It's gonna inevitably happen, but I still think that this should be prolonged. We need this delayed by quite a bit. Triangle, you can see right there, it's got its nerfs as well. Normal mode was paying 4,500 gold, hard mode was 5,500 gold. Now normal mode is 8 to 3,600. Hard mode 22, 16, and 1,000. So yeah, you can see right there, it's quite a bit of a nerf there as well. Akan, they said they buffed it a little bit. I can see I think it's like a 500 gold buff for hard mode. So yeah, I didn't do the math, but yeah. Oh no, actually hard mode's a bit more. I think it's now 12,000, isn't it? Or am I doing my math wrong there? Oh yeah, I'm doing my math wrong there. It's like it's 11,000 gold. Sorry, it's 11, not 12. So they did buff hard mode at least. I did say that in my video that I think that they should buff hard mode gold. Keep like increase normal gold the old hard mode. And here's what I said in my last video. I mean, I'm just gonna reiterate it. I said in my last video, solo mode should be the same amount as the current hard mode. Increase normal mode party to hard mode, and then increase hard mode to 12 to 13,000. That's what I said, or close to that. That's what I said. I just said buff the hard mode, party mode gold, and then Ivory Tower is the same for normal and hard mode. And then you can see it's like it's an almost 50% reduced. It's more like it's like 40 to 45% of the money of normal mode for solo. So I didn't want to see these gold nerfs. I definitely am glad to see the gold buffs for a con, but the gold nerfs I don't think we need. And then Echidna epilogue. There's a new story after a story quest, which can be acquired from the NPC Lateran Messenger and it'll need. There are 2 prerequisites before receiving defeat. You have to basically complete normal or hard mode. You have to complete Echidna in normal or hard mode to get that quest. And then the contest winners for the art contest that Lost Ark had. And then this is just basically talk about how Ivory Tower's Gate 3 has been removed, the sign and epilogue quests have been added, time to launch the game has been decreased by 40%. The exact time will be varying on PC specs. Lost Ark has updated a ton of content compared to when it was first launched. These continual updates of content have increased the game's launch time. We assessed the current game launch time, affecting smooth gameplay, and proceeded with various optimizations. Lost Ark will continue to make efforts to provide the best gameplay experience for adventurers. So that's just the in conclusion, basically, section of the patch notes. Overall, it's a great looking patch. The gold nerfs are definitely the worst part of it, but overall, I think this is a banger of an update. If you guys agree or disagree, leave a comment in the section in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, and as always, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.